What's up, YouTube? So in today's video I'll be teaching you how to drift. So we're going to go over a couple techniques that are found in the Drift Bible that you can apply to not only the game but in a real world application. Now I'm going over these techniques using a wheel for wheel users, but as well you can apply this to a controller if you would like, because it's basically just the same thing. The only thing is you're flicking the sticks versus turning the wheel and pressing the pedals. Also in these games, your wheel setup is a big part of how the game feels and how you need to react to your steering inputs. But I'll go over my wheel setup and what I've done to make it feel right and actually self-steer in another video, and just leave down in the comments if you really want to see that or not. The car we'll be using today just has the basic steering angle kit that comes on Forza, and it's running about, I think, like 320 horsepower, and it's just pretty much simple tune, nothing crazy. Just keep it nice and simple to show that you can drift just a simple car. Now let's get straight into it. Our first technique is donuts. So basically with donuts, you essentially want to drift the car in a basic circle. And the best way to do it is around the cone, so you can actually have something to reference with your eyes to go around. So what donuts will essentially teach you is how to initiate a slide and how to control your throttle to keep the car where you want it to be. And that actually nose the front of the car in as close as possible to the cone, which will teach you how to control your angle and steering inputs. So essentially what you just saw is me overcorrecting with the steering. I flicked the wheel a little too quickly and it caused the car to straighten. So what you want to do is kind of ease the car around, give it a little touch kit and some gas, and just ease with the counter steer. Don't be too slow to the point that the car will over-rotate, but don't be too quick to the point that you'll just straighten the car out. Now I'm just going to use a little throttle control and a little bit of steering input to keep it around the cone. Alright. Now we're going to go around it the other way. So when you're doing these donuts, make sure you practice going both ways to get you comfortable drifting left and right. So practice doing donuts until you're consistently going around the cone without a bunch of jolting around and corrections. And then we'll go on to the next step. Alright, our second technique is figure eights. Alright, so same thing as donuts. When you turn to the corner, clutch kick, control with counter steer, and then through this middle section to extend it, what you want to do, lower your angle just a little bit, just a tiny bit, and then flick the wheel back the other way to go around the corner. Now for me, and most people, they'll probably use like the handbrake to swing the car back around really quickly around the next corner, but I don't have a handbrake, so I usually like tap the brakes to unload the rear end, which will loosen up the car a little bit and allow me to rotate it around the corner. So you continue to practice the figure eights until you get used to this and learn how to control your angle a little bit better. And then you can transition onto doing this technique right here, which essentially, I guess you say, is a big oval. Instead of doing a figure eight, you'll try and extend all the way out to the next corner and keep going in the same direction if you can. So what this will do is teach you how to control your angle a little bit better, and as well control your speed, just in case you're going around a long sweeping turn and then you need to go to a short radius. You can control the car's angle a lot better and use the car's angle to slow yourself down and get you around the corner efficiently. Our third technique is power over. So essentially all you need to do is get a little bit of speed, turn in, and just floor it, and then counter steer accordingly to your speed and angle, and then just continue to slide. This is probably one of the easiest techniques that you'll get down, because all you're doing is just gaining some speed, turn it in, and just floor it. That's all there is to it. As long as, of course, in drifting you got to counter steer and adjust. And that's all you got to do. Okay, so let's move on to the next technique. Technique number 4, feint. So when you're doing the feint, you want to gain as much speed as possible, and right before you enter into the corner, you will steer the opposite direction of the corner and then flip the wheel back the other way. So what this will do, it will unsettle the suspension of the car and cause it to oversteer, and then you counter steer and give it as much throttle as you possibly can to get around the corner. Technique number 5, shift lock. So with shift lock, all you're doing is going up to about second gear, or at least for this corner, and then right as you're about to steer in, you'll downshift without rev matching to lock up the rear and back into first. And what I do, that will lock up the rear and cause you to oversteer, then you just catch the slide. Alright, that was our last technique. So like any sport or anything like that, practice is key, and you need to get as much seat time as possible to get better and better. So eventually, using these techniques that I've shown you, you'll be able to chain tracks and be able to control the car and develop your own style with your driving. And then eventually you'll be able to move on to tandem. And then once you get onto tandem, then you learn things like left foot braking and using the handbrake and clutch to help the car transition or transition quickly. Now I'm just going to be quiet and let you see an example of the techniques that I've taught you and how I use them to drift around this track. Also, let me know in the comments if there's anything I should teach or should go over or anything like that. And as well, like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and I plan on making more of these. So I'll see you in the next one.